そんなに俺に負けるのが怖えかよ。バーニングフルフィンガー。
Alright, what is going on, guys? SpitefulHopes back again, coming at you with a video brought to you and sponsored by me, obviously. Anyways, let's just get right into it. Now, 1,000 Year Blood War, round 472. Jugram, Uryu, Bazz-B. Now, this banner is actually a really good banner. I'm not even gonna lie. This is actually really good value. If you don't have Jugram, you might actually want to summon on this banner. I'm not even joking. And normally I would like to say just come in here and be like, skip end of the year, skip vote selection. But the reality is, if you don't have Jugram, it's significantly harder to stay in third seat than normal. Like that's just plain facts. Like I don't care what you believe. If you have like max transcended units to bypass that, that's because you have max transcended units to bypass that. However, it's significantly harder to stay in third seat or lieutenant or fourth seat even without Jugram. It's a pain in the ass. Let's be real here. Like I don't care who you are. If you don't agree to that, if you don't agree with that, bro, you cap. Anyways, going into it, this banner is actually really good. Honestly, I normally like to say, oh yeah, just skip the banner. But the reality is, honestly, if you're a new player to the game and you're missing a lot of these characters, you might actually want to summon. I would honestly, if you're like a new player to the game and you have a lot of orb sources and you're able to commit to farming out these orb sources in order to max out your account for the voting selection banner, just so that you can do all 20 steps, assuming that we get 20 to 30 steps, then I would recommend doing at least 5 to 6 steps on this banner trying to get Jugram. I would not go over like 2,000 orbs trying to get Jugram. It's not worth it at this point. He's due for a correction, and by correction I mean he's due for a hard counter. We got Ikaku, which is kind of like a counter, but let's be real here, it's not a full-on counter. And since like you're gonna need a 5 of 5 like Ikaku in order to really you know, smack Jugram's cheeks, just like, you know, just smack him a little bit. It's not really the same. So going into it, let's just get into this banner, and then we'll talk about everyone in order. All right. So first and foremost, Ginrei. Honestly, he's mainly useful in guild quests and Kaimon and epic raids whenever he's bonus. He does have Flurry, Poise, Sprinter +1. He does have a Hollow Killer, Debilitator +5 seconds, but only on his 3rd strong attack, as well as his 1st strong attack and his special. Honestly, that doesn't really come into play too much. However, being able to just paralyze on a stick with your ultimate, very nice. Damage reduction 20%, Link at worst, so even pulling him is not necessarily the worst. Getting into the next character, we have Shunsui. Now, what is really cool about this banner is if you actually want this piece of garbage, you actually have a higher statistical you have a higher percentage chance of actually pulling this Shunsui. It's a statistical anomaly that I still don't understand personally, but KLab has made it so. He's absolute trash. He's diarrhea flow. Like, if you ever constipated and stuff like that, bro, just take one of these Shunsui, stuff it up your ass, and you're guaranteed to just diarrhea flow. It is what it is, bro. Going into the next one, Bond Ichigo. Now, Bond Ichigo is a pretty big staple in the community, right? Like, his art is sexy, but that's about it. He's also a Chronicle Quest bonus and a normal attack damage 25% link. That's literally his entire use. He's not a bad character. I think that he just needs to... his resurrection just needs to come a little sooner in order for him to actually, like, excel. Like, he has a bruiser of 75%, doesn't have flurry, a Rancor killer, which is not necessarily bad, but like I said, in this day and age, if you're a NAD character without flurry, I don't make these characters. Alright. Let's get into the actual meat and potatoes of this banner and going into the 1,000 Year Blood War characters. Now, this is where stuff gets interesting because these characters are actually really good. Now, Ichigo, like I said, is a Chronicle Quest bonus, so he will always have value, especially if he's new. Ginrei, NAD character, I'm not saying he's bad. Like, the only person that's bad is Shunsui, honestly. Going into Renji, he does have Havoc 20%. He has a Bruiser of 20%, Devastation 40%, Frenzy, Long Reach +20%, and Sprinter +1. Now, he actually has a really interesting kit. I don't even know if he actually has the same 2nd strong attack as anyone. Grimjaw? Oh, okay, that does actually make sense. Okay, so going into the 1st strong attack is going to be a lunge 1st strong attack. Pretty standard in the in the grand scheme of things. Alright, going into Renji's 2nd strong attack, it is a 720 radius AoE distant second strong attack, the same as the 960 AoE circle in front of you. However, it's significantly smaller in terms of range, right? 240 radius off, and which it can be very, 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 you know, like you might be dependent on that 960 AoE distant second strong attack nowadays. So going into this second, it might throw you off if you're not prepared for it. This third strong attack, however, is definitely very wonky. So 690 radius does turn into 1080. You're going to definitely want to charge this almost every single time if possible, just because you do get double damage and it just is worth it. Even if you're under a full strong attack recharge build, you're always going to want to pop this off just so that you not only get the range but the damage too. His special move actually has a 5% chance to insta-kill. However, that's not necessarily the end-all be-all. Now, going into his drop chance, you'll see here that you actually get an 18.55% chance to get the insta-kill off, considering that you have 4 hits to deal with, and then you have 5% chance for the probability. So the chances of getting your insta-kill off is actually almost 1 in 5, and not necessarily just 5% chance, like, oh my god, it's never gonna happen. It actually happens a lot more likely than anything. And on top of that, what's really cool is like some places like Senkaimon, you'll actually be able to cheese an entire boss by just resetting the floor. And since you don't have to wait for them to attack you or anything like that, or to die, you can literally just close the app, log back in, try to smash off that insta-kill, and hopefully you can, you know, save precious seconds, especially in something like Senkaimon, right? Okay, and next on the list, Rukia. Now, Rukia, in my opinion, fell off quite hard. She was actually pretty damn good in PvP, considering that 1000 Year Blood War Toshiro was still running rampant with Unohana back in the day. And Rukia with Toshiro, since they both popped off their third strong attack very quickly, they were still very, very meta in PvP, which was actually quite surprising. Obviously, this didn't really, like, this was also before Transcendence. This was before the DR20, like DR 80% meta, before the Poise Flurry ran completely rampant in PvP. Now, going into her actual character, she has a full screen third strong attack, a standard lunge first strong attack, and then her second strong attack is going to be the same second strong attack as, I believe, Swimsuit Nell. They didn't really give this second strong attack out very often. Look at this. Literally nobody. Her second strong attack is a vacuum-like vortex ability that is placed in front of you, but the problem with it is that it locked you into place too, so you actually were in a lot of danger. So even when she's bonus in epic grades, I don't like using her, because you have to use her second strong attack in such a way that you're not locked into it when the boss is doing an a non-invincibility frame style strong attack. Now, she does have Devastation 40%, Freeze Immunity, Frenzy, Long Reach plus 20%, Debilitator plus 5 seconds, Bruiser 20%, Sprinter plus 1. Now, just straight off the bat, you'll see that she has Long Reach, Bruiser, Freeze Immunity. These 3 skills, in my opinion, are pretty throwaway. Not only that, but she's a strong attack damage link, which already lowers the value because strong attack recharge is so... I don't want to say prevalent, but like the reality is, strong attack recharge 12% is so strong in comparison to strong attack damage 20%, because nowadays almost every single SP based character is getting Berserker 20 to 40% already. So like you're already getting that damage boost. So it's like being able to pop off your strong attacks non-stop, in my opinion, is a bit more valuable, unless you're trying to push numbers or like do like sub 10-second runs in Guild Quest. Going into her actual kit, 475 radius, standard lunge, full screen, and then you'll see the 625. It says here Vortex step 2, 8 hits. So this actually is 10 hits. But like I said, really risky strong attack. It has a 120% magnification, so you're kind of locked into place, whereas something like this has 120% magnification, but like you literally do all the damage right away. So something like this really hurts the character, in my opinion. Alright, next on the list, a true Shikai Ichigo, Espada Killer. Now the reason that this might be good is because he does have an Espada Killer, and the enemy this rotation is going to actually be a tech leader unit. Now obviously you're like, oh, he's tech, why wouldn't you want a red unit? Well, the reality is there's not really many red characters with Espada Killers. You'll see here you have Nanao, Apache, Yoruichi, Ichibe, so a lot of blue for the most recent Espada Killers, right? You're literally 2 of the last 4. Now sure, the Nanao and Apache are neutral attribute, but like that's assuming that you actually pulled Nanao. That's assuming you actually pulled Apache. And then even going down into here, you see these are characters from like way back in the day. Yeah, little girl Yachiru might have bombardment, so that's good. But like if you're a new player, you don't even really have access to these characters unless you get lucky on a freaking premium tickets or Brave Steel tickets, right? So like it is what it is. But that's pretty much just my 2 cents on this character. His first strong attack is a pushback style attack, which is going to be, in my opinion, pretty horrible, right? Shave a full first strong attack. Second strong attack is going to be a crawling vortex, which could be helpful. Third strong attack is just a standard full screen third strong attack. He's not a bad character. I don't think he's bad. I just feel like he's horribly outdated in this day and age because he does have a PvP killer instead of a PvE. That being said, like I said, his value for this rotation of guild quest can be pretty valuable. Like, I think that's pretty valuable. But I personally wouldn't really advise summoning specifically for him unless it's for collector's purposes. Next on the list, going into the actual 1000-year Blood War banner, Bazz-B. Damn, bro. Bazz-B is nuts. Like, in my opinion, he's nuts. All he needed was Sprinter +2, and he'd be like literally one of the. Well, I mean, he actually, even without that, he's still one of the best speed units in the game. I still think Kirinji edges him out with just the Sprinter +2 because of like just good kid. He does have Havoc 20%, Berserker 20%, all that. But going into it, strong attack recharge minus 12%. You have the burn on all of your attacks. You have increased status ailment chance against power attribute or Ronkars plus 10%. So if you have killer and attribute advantage, you actually get a disabler, which is really, really strong because this gets added onto your strong attack. Like with his first strong attack with disabler, click here. Yeah, with his strong attack with disabler, he actually has a 12% chance per hit. So like 12% chance on, click here, on 6 hits. So 6 hits, 12% chance. You see that you literally have a 50-50, you pretty much have a 50-50 chance of actually proccing the burn on the unit, which is really, really, really strong. Alright, and going into his actual kit, you have the Berserker 20%, Frenzy, Havoc 20% into his actual attacks. So, lunge for strong attack, so 570 radius, 960 AoE distance, so literally a better Renji, which is actually kind of funny because he's literally Renji but on steroids. So on top of that, his third strong attack is going to be 900 radius, so it's not necessarily a bad idea to just launch that off rip. And then you have a 1080 radius, full screen, beyond full screen third strong attack when you charge it up. That is honestly, like, he literally has the same killer as Renji. He does the job better. Havoc 20%, Berserker 20%, and then you have the Disabler, Devastation 40%, Frenzy, Debilitator plus 2 seconds. The Debilitator alone is nice. And honestly, just Bazz-B is he's stupid. He's actually really, really, really OP. You got the lunge, you got the 960, you got the charge third strong attack, so that you can hit incredibly hard. Very, very good character. Alright, going into Uryu, probably one of my favorite characters to be released this year. He is actually, I don't know how people give him so much crap. Now, I know that he's Mr. Range Collision himself, you feel me, like he's the next Quincy Ichigo, but he's not quite Quincy Ichigo, okay? Strong attack recharge minus 12%. He does have a Soul Reaper killer, which already is better than Quincy Ichigo. He has a Berserker of 40%, Guard Break, Havoc 20%, Frenzy, Devastation 60%, Bruiser 40%, and Sprinter plus 1. Now, sure, the Bruiser 40% in my opinion is a throwaway ability. However, he has something called Ailment Reversal, which we'll get into towards the end of this character. Now, his first strong attack is going to be the Shave style ability, which is really, really nice. Psych! And since he does have a Berserker of... Since he does have a Berserker of 40%, it does hit hard, and with the Guard Break, you don't have to worry about wasting hits of this first strong attack, which I think is very, very important. His second strong attack is going to be the Breath style ability, for those that are familiar with Bankai Hikone, Tokinata, Bankai Hikone, Tokinata, the Fierce Battle Kisuke. This second strong attack is actually pretty damn good on an SP based character. Not necessarily the best strong attack, but it is good. Third strong attack is going to be a standard full screen third strong attack, 1200 AoE radius, and his full screen special move, 2000 radius, is actually a heal, so it does have value. On top of that, His Havoc 20% like makes his third strong attack a 1200 radius AoE. He has crazy good range on his first strong attack despite it being range collision. But like the thing is, he also has something called ailment reversal, which makes him one of the best not only auto units in the game, but one of the safest units to actually invest in. Like almost not having to worry, let me correct myself, almost not having to worry about dying is really, really, really nice. And if you know that like an enemy is going to cause you paralysis, burn, or whatever, you could literally just take the hit, heal up 20%, or is it 25%? I forget if it was 20% heal or a 25% heal. It's something massive, right? But like being able to just fully heal up to full just because, oh yeah, let me just heal myself when you want to, is really, 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 really cool. I personally love this character's design. I think that they did an excellent job with him. And even though he has range collision and he's the range collision king, like I feel like KLab did a really good job with him. Like he's definitely something unique and interesting that they brought to the table. And next on the list, obviously Jugram. Now Jugram, in and of itself, is an absolute disaster of a character. He's he's broken. Like just check out this clip. And this is like not even that long ago. Damage reduction 16%, Brave Battle counter plus 20%, so you counter back the damage that is dealt to you. Brave Battle temporary invincibility plus 10 seconds, Berserker 50%, Bruiser 20%, Flurry, Pierce Barrier, Poise, Sprinter plus 1. Just straight up, you're invincible for 10 seconds of the entire fight, just in time for the Soul Bomb to actually spawn. He, on top of that, has weaken on all of his attacks. His second strong attack is a lunge. His first strong attack is the 2500 length beam. That first strong attack, don't get it twisted. The fact that this is a 2500 length beam gives him just enough opportunity to actually launch his first strong attack, snipe the Soul Bomb, and then finish you off. His third strong attack is a full screen, and then his special move also has weakening on it. His Nat has weakening on it as well, and the Brave Battle temporary invincibility also counts towards status elements, so you can't even proc weakening on him. You can't proc anything on him in terms of status elements, which just sucks. He also can't be debuffed by someone like Askin, which is literally Askin's whole, like, that's his bread and butter. Going into his actual stuff, the Bruiser plus 20% along with Flurry, Poise, and then Pierce Barrier, so Ichibes have a tough time keeping up with him too. It's honestly, I think that this character is like incredibly broken for PvP, but it's only broken for PvP. In regular PvE, this Jugram is just, he's okay. That's pretty much it. He's okay, but when it comes to PvP alone, very, very, very strong character, OP in my opinion, and I think that it's going to be incredibly hard for KLab to actually bring out a counter for him. Do I think that this banner is worth summoning on? If you have the orb sources to do so, like trying to get a copy of Jugram might not be a bad idea. I don't know what KLab would do in order to try to counter him. I really don't. Like what are they gonna do? Bypass temporary invincibility and just delete every single person's Jugram, the entire like point of him? I don't know. I just don't see it. But I'm gonna leave it at that. You guys grind on, catch up with him, and stay blessed. Let me know in the comments below if you actually plan to summon on this banner. I'd be really interested to see how deep people are going to go, and if you do summon on this banner, let me know how deep you actually went. I know a lot of people might leave and then like never come back, but I'm genuinely interested to see how people summon on this banner, because like I have a video coming up about like my honest feelings to like for Bleach Brave Souls as a whole, and I'm genuinely interested in seeing the what our community does, right? Like I'm genuinely interested in seeing what the general community does. But I'm gonna leave it at that. Stay blessed, y'all. You have a great day, and I'll see y'all in the next one.